Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. Today we're coming up with another episode of Mini Monday. Yay, Mini Monday. Now this is not going to be the last Mini Monday, but what we're going to do is next week on Monday, we're going to have a Manx lesson, and I'm so looking forward to that video. You guys, Heather and I sat down, we did some recording, and she did a fabulous job of teaching me how to do a Manx. Now Manx is from the Isle of Man, and you'll get more into that next week. But today we are doing the Pride of the Bride, and we should do our shout out first, right? We're going to change the format a little bit on Monday. We're going to just play and have fun. So sometimes it'll be minis, sometimes it'll be Manx, sometimes it'll be make it, where you make wallets and coin purses and, like we're going to just have fun with this. We're going to play a lot on Monday because Monday when I was working was always a hard day, so I decided during my retirement we're going to play on Monday. So yes, this is what we're doing. So now, the shout outs for Pride of the Bride here is Leslie Quilts and Scott at the Quilting Camper. Now both of these channels are having fun. It's just we're out there trying to give you guys some people to go look at and have some fun. And if you like what you see there, tell them that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you, and hit their subscribe button. So we're just, like I say, it's the shout outs are bringing so much joy. You get to kind of sneak around and do nice things for people, so it's wonderful. Our next sew along here, now I'm not sure when this will be. We're filming in the beginning of January, so the next sew along is Twinkle Twinkle. It starts February 25th 2026, and I just think it's going to be an awesome quilt. It's a string and crumb buster. And yes, you use all of the colors and you use strings. Yes, it's going to be fun. Also, we're Zoom Sew Days, so the first Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. Making comments, thumbs up, share, like, subscribe. Hype. Hype is a new thing. If you could hype us, that would be great. And hit the bell so you don't miss content. That would help drive our analytics and help us reach more quilters. And we just, let people know that there's a whole bunch of free patterns out there, right? So we also have a Facebook group. It's warm and welcoming. There's a virtual sewing room there, hosted by Discord. You have now a sew date 24/7 if you would like, and there's all sorts of fun chats and fabric exchanges and block exchanges. You just, you have to just join the community chats. And just one thing the admins have said, please answer the question and agree to the rules, otherwise I can't let you in. We're trying to keep that group for quilters only and get rid of all the scammers or the people that cause problems, So if you're a quilter and you're part of the Facebook community, please come join us. I speak for free to quilting guilds and quilting groups over Zoom, and I do my best to try and accommodate you. So if you're trying to get a hold of me, you either reach me through Messenger on Facebook, which is really quick, or my About tab has my email address. I'm pushing back my second speaking presentation because I'm swamped with sewing and I'm having a hard time getting the pictures together for my second speaking engagement. I'm pushing it back now to March, the end of March, because it's, it is what it is. Life is crazy and fun around here, and we've just got to work with what we've got to work with. So yes, if you're looking for a speaking person to speak for your guild or group, I speak for free, and I do it only over Zoom. Now, if you're sending me a shout out, send it through Messenger or email, because that I just love when you guys are looking for them and you see somebody, hey, they're working hard, they're having fun. Yeah, let's give them a shout out. Tell Brenda to give them a shout out. The only thing I ask is that you not tell that person, right? You gotta not tell them. We have a couple of things that I've been very, very blessed with. We have the Quilters Challenge coming up. Now, that involves Future Cat from New Zealand, Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Crafts, Sam Alberts, Sewing with Debbie, Deb Morton, Laura Lynn from the Mama Pop Quilt Show, and Michelle from Bits and Pieces. We're going to do challenges, quilter challenges to each other and to you, and those are going to be so much fun. And I was so happy that, that group, we all came together to do that. And the other thing that I'm going to be involved with is back to basics. Right now, Donna from Handmade with Ying with Donna is also running that one, and we're coming together to do some pretty basic stuff, and it just have some fun with that basics, right? So she's been asked for me to give a few lessons over the course of the year, so we're gonna have a lot of fun with these. Now there's two things, the Quilters Challenge and Back to Basics. So this is it's just going to be a lot of fun what we're doing here. So I think we're done. Come on in. Let's get to the sewing of the Pride of the Bride. Okay, so here we are at the sewing machine. What we need is some pins, and we're just going to keep them handy. Paper, scissors to cut your pattern, of course your PDF, which you're going to find in the show notes. Some scrap fabrics, and I've kind of pre-cut them to what they need. I use this as a marking tool to draw my lines, and what I find is it just makes the paper easier to bend and then easier to remove once we're done all the sewing, and I've done that already. Tape is your friend. Oh wow, is tape your friend? You wouldn't believe sometimes the trouble you get into doing foundation paper piecing. Rotary cutter. Now you can have an out-of-cord ruler if you have one. Your regular ruler also has a 1/4 inch mark, so you know you could use either one. So let's get this started. Okay. So I went and I marked out all of what colors go where on this already. And I didn't mark the low volume because I'm only making it red and white. Now I think this would be such a cute quilt for Valentine's Day because it's such a lovely little heart and uses up a bunch of little fun scraps. And you can have a lot of fun with that one, just doing all sorts of different paper piecing and whatnot. So let's get this started. So we want to put the red here. Now, what I did is I just laid this out here. Hang on. I laid this out here, and I made sure I had good coverage, right, on the big piece. Right now, this is numbered 1 and 2. Switch them. Just switch them, because it doesn't matter which one goes first, as long as you do either one or 2. This is easier to lay out this way. Okay, so now I'm going to trim for number 1, which is right here. I'm going to add my little 1/4 inch trim thing. There we go. There. And we're just going to take off that little bit of fabric. There. We're just about done. Okay, and the white then goes here. The little white piece goes here. Is that big enough? Oh, maybe not. This one. This one goes right here like so. Just like that. You lay it down, and you have a little bit of overlap. Okay, let's get this out of the way. There. And, and my foot pedal has gone AWOL. Oh, there it is. There. Now, we're just going to knock up and down and do A1 and A2. There. Now, we're going to do the same again with the white. You want to lay that out just like so. You want to make sure you have good coverage at the point. And we do. And I'm going to get another pin. Get another pin. If you pin too much, what happens? And again, this is number 2 and this is number 1. Just switch them. Switch the direction. You can also do this one. It's kind of like, it doesn't really matter on these little ones which one you do first. So let's play around with it. We don't have to follow the rules. We can do whatever we need to do. There we go. We get a nice thin little piece off there. Put this down. Switch this over. Where to go? Right there. Okay. And I'm just going to pull it in just a hair bit longer. Sometimes when these things are numbered, you know, it doesn't really matter how you're numbering them, right? It really doesn't. Especially something like this. Okay, let's get all of that off. There. There we go. All right. There. Now, you just finger press this one out of the way. And we want to move on to the next bit. And the next bit is right here. A4, or no, A3 or A4. I'm going to just do A4 just to move it out of the way. Because it doesn't matter on how this goes together. It's nicer to work this way. Okay. And you're going to put the white right there. I should have checked better with the numbering, but once you get used to doing these, you know, foundation paper piecing, yeah, you can pretty much disregard the numbering, you know, that you're given and work with what you would have normally worked with, right? So that's kind of a nice thing about doing them. If you do enough of it and you kind of master it, you don't really need to follow the numbers. You kind of see how they go and you're good. Okay. There we go. And let's get this little red piece. There. Very little waste on this when you cut them, pre-cut them. Okay. And my dog bed pile is, yes, filling up quite nicely. Thank you. Nothing gets wasted. There we go. There. Now, I've got enough on here. I can probably take this pin out. Okay, here we go. Now, A3. Now we're going to do A3 on this. Do this long, narrow piece. And just going to press that out. Finger press it out a bit. I start on one end. And push along all the way to the other end without cutting the other fabric. Now both these pieces are big enough they can go back into the crumb bin, you know, so you're not wasting fabric there either. Okay, this slips on just like so. Okay, there we go. Push. There we go. That nice long seam. Now I played around with this block, and when I started playing around with this block, I thought, oh, we could have so much fun with this block. And I thought, okay, we are going to have a little bit of fun. I did make 3 other ones, so I could change this into a like a 12-inch, but you just do, if you just want to do like a 6.5 inch, that works too. But I saw the potential here in this. This would make a lovely Valentine's Day quilt, or for a bride, like literally for a bride, like, you know, a wedding quilt or something. If people getting married, you know, this is such a nice pattern, and it's not too small, right? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes these get a little bit too small and they're too cumbersome. And they don't work well. So I'm just going to put this down. So we're very quick to the end here. Okay. And I think it's kind of cute that I found fabric with crossed fingers. I don't know if you can see that. They got their fingers crossed like this. Which it was just kind of cute. You know, you hope for the best. You know, when people get married, you hope for the best. And, yeah, I just thought that fabric was just adorable. Perfect for this. Perfect for the block. Okay. There we go. Nice smooth line. There. And get this folded out of the way. Just like so. There. And now we do the last piece. There. There. I'm just going to pull that pin. We don't need that pin anymore. Where is this? Is this big enough? Maybe go this way, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Is this pin? Okay, yeah, this is going to be big enough if I go this way. And we just might have to smidge it over just a bit. There. There we go. Over. Pin this way over like so. And that's all the pins that we need. We don't need any more pins. Oops. Now, there. They just like so. There we go. Now, before we get too crazy, let's check this, because I think I'm a little bit shy on this, but that's okay. We can fix just about anything, right? We can fix just about anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trimming this block, just laying the 1/4 inch line right down on this. Now this is a trick everybody should learn. See, now this is where I'm a little short. So what I'm going to do, this I wanted a teaching moment for you guys. If you're a little short and you're short right in the seam, but it's too close to the seam, you just pick this out just a bit. Just a bit, just like this. Just pick it out. Just pick it out, and then you fold it back. Basically, you poverty piecing. You're going to poverty piece this piece together. Just there. You unpick it from the fabric side. And now you're going to sew on an extra big piece, just like so, from the stuff you cut off to boot. And you're going to make just the best seam you can, because sometimes it's awkward when you're folding back stuff. This one is perfect, by the way. This is the perfect size, and it's the perfect length, and it's the perfect, yeah, I know. But, you know, you need teaching moments, too. And a lot of people don't understand how sometimes you can get just a lovely block just by doing this. You know, you don't have to sit there and go, oh God, I have to pick the whole thing off. No, you don't. You just have to pick what part is not working. Right, so here we go. And another big piece for the crumb bin. Now what I did was I clipped off these little corner bits, trying to make it as uniform as we could, right? To reduce bulk in the seam. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to take this off the machine and see if that worked the way I needed it to work. Now, you're going to press open. Here, the best you can is you press open. And you just get that as best you can. Right? And now you're going to get this all here. And you're going to just clip off the excess. Just like that. When this is in a quilt, I'm going to show you here. When that's in a quilt, you'll never see it. Except now you got to just restitch the last, you know, ½ inch or so. You know, just have to restitch what we unplucked. So you want to make sure everything is lying flat and open. There we go. There we go. Nice. And clip that. Clip this. There. So now this is going to lie the way we need it to. And nobody's going to be any wiser because you're not going to see that. Right? Oh. This is a way of poverty piecing when you're you know, you might be a little short on fabric, or the pieces might be, ooh, just a little on the tight side, and you're kind of like, oh dear, what have I done? There we go. There. Another piece for the crumb bin. And I'm just going to go over just that part that's sticking out, because I think that would get in our way. There we go. All right. Now, everything is ready for us. Oh, I got to trim this little bits. These little bits. These little bits. There. Poverty piecing is a great way of, you know, making your scraps work if you're just a bit shy. Let's say I didn't have a piece that I could take off of somewhere else. I could take another white because it's such a small piece. Okay, so what we're going to do, and just sew it in there, and you would never see it, right? Because that's how they used to do this kind of thing. They did this kind of thing all the time. Okay, let me get this off, and I'll get my 1/4 inch foot on. And then I'll show you my surprise. Oops, there we go. Of course, the little screw comes right off because it can. Okay, there we go. All right, so this we want to sew from tip to tip. There we go. There we go, and ooh. Yeah. Just like a hair off at the end, but that's okay. There, now. Okay. So that's our block. We're just going to take this apart. Now, I'm going to show you what I did. Now, I'm going to flatten this so it's pressed open. And that helps reduce the bulk right where I had to poverty piece this, right? So that also helps. Okay, now, what I did is I made 4 of them. Well, now I've made 4 of them. I made 3 other ones. And I thought this would be such a lovely Valentine's Day. You know, you could do it this way, or you could line all your hearts up the same direction, you know, like you could do that. And it would be just a, you know, like you could do just scrappy goodness, and it would be just gorgeous. But I kind of like this with the, kind of looks like a flower, right? So let's do that. Let's put them together like this. You could play around with these, and I think, well, like I say, it's a 6.5 inch block, unfinished, so you can have quite a bit of fun with this. Now you notice I didn't do any stay stitching yet. This is because I had this plan in mind, and I'm going to make sure all of this stays open below. There we go. Okay, this all needs to stay open. And pressing open in this case just disperses the, oops, let's not have that go boing. Pressing open in this case just makes the material, disperses the bulk a little bit differently. That's all it's going to do, right? I mean, you're not cutting or trimming away per se, but you are redistributing it. So one is going to go one way and the other one is going to go the other way on this. And there we go. There, now I'm going to cut that middle thread just so I can see what's going on here. Just a bit better. Ooh, 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 ooh. So, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna... The one way it's pressed open, the other way I'm leaving the bumps twisted. There we go. And we realign. There. Now, what I'm going to do, because I've got my 4 together. Now this creates, you know, a 12.5 inch unfinished block. This is what the block looks like. And what I'm going to do now is this gets pulled open, right? Because this will get pressed in, down, like this. Like, so you're making that little line. So I'm now going to do my stay stitching because I have a bigger piece to work with. If I'm going to do a whole bunch of little ones and they're going to be sitting around for, you know, a decade while I finish all sorts of other little blocks and projects, then I'll just leave the paper on. But sometimes it's a good idea just to go through and do your stay stitching, remove your paper. When the quilt block has no paper on it, it takes up less space to store. So if storage is a premium in your sewing room, that's something to consider. I'm filling up quickly because I make nothing but orphan blocks, it seems like, but that's okay. I'll have some fun with this one eventually. And all the way to the corner. There. Oops, one more. There we go. Okay, and right off the end, yay, here we go. Kapow. Now, so what I did is we did all the traditional foundation paper piecing. Then I pressed open on these blocks. And then when it came to where we're putting together the fore patch, we decided to swirl our seams, right? Now we could have easily pressed open too, right? I mean, it's kind of up to you what you want to do. You are still going to have the same, if you press open on these seams versus swirling it, you're still going to end up with the same amount of bulk in the middle, right? So that's okay. And let's see how all the points didn't add up too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. It looks pretty good. But yeah, let's see. Let's get to our big ta-da moment. Okay, so here's our big ta-da moment. This is Pride of the Bride. Wouldn't this make a really cool bride's gifts, like bridal shower gift or a Valentine's Day gift? You can lay out these 4 blocks any way you want. This is, here, I'll just fold this so you get a good idea what the block, the mini was. The mini was this. And you can have fun with this layout too, right? You can put it all like 2 in and 2 out, you know, it would be really cool. But I thought this was just perfect. Now, playing around with how you do your center, that's entirely up to you. Like I pressed open on the diagonal and then pressed over on the horizontal and vertical. So that, you know, it depends on how this works out. By the time you get the paper out, this does lay pretty flat. But right now it's a big bump. But you got to redistribute that the best you can. So I do hope you give this one a try. This one was lots of fun. And I decided, okay, this is a little different from Mini Monday because I made 4 and we made it bigger, but you can play with this mini too. So I hope you have an absolutely amazing week in your sewing room ahead and everything in your life is going absolutely great. So you stay well and take care until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life and, you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.